Welcome to Suite 301. Thank you for joining us today. We are live here from our studios here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at all of our Colt Club sports leagues. I'm alongside Zach Ramirez as my co-host today. Zach, how you doing today?
Doing well. Glad to be here, definitely.
Good. It's good to be back on camera. Before I was doing the phone operating, so it's good to be back on camera and with all you today. So Zach, let them know what they need to do as far as following these.
Yeah, remember to follow our Facebook groups and Twitter for the latest updates on news and media, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel for videos from around the league and previous episodes of Suite 301.
Yeah, and it's very important. I mean, social media being the important factor for kids these days is to follow all of our social media outlets. So make sure you guys do that. Let's jump right into it. Let's get into basketball. We're obviously right into the heart of the season. Lots of things going on. Our national championship's not too far away. I believe we'll be talking about some teams clinching conferences or not. But before we get started on all of that, let's talk about the Phenom Elite Top 20 poll. Towson, new number one.
Yeah, Towson jumps Pitt in the latest poll. Up to number one, finished 18-0 on the season, clinched the MAC Central, and very exciting.
11 first-place votes. Pittsburgh, who I read that awesome article about the former Pitt Club guys that are on the varsity team now. I believe we got that on our social media websites. Yeah. But they're coming in at number two. The previous number one, did they have a little slip up that it was just Towson's?
Yeah, 18-0 right now. Pitt sits at 9-0. So I mean, no slip off from Pitt. They clinched their conference. They'll represent the Great Lakes East as the top seed there. So
nice. And then you got UMass Lowell coming in at number 3, St. John's at number 4, and then East Carolina, who took a little bit of a tumble down 2 spots, rounding out the top 5. A lot of big-name schools in there. I know we have a lot of teams. I'm not going to go through the entire top 20, but you can find that online, correct, at the NCBBA website, so make sure to check that out. But looks like just from the previous rankings, a lot of movement in the polls, which is a good thing. But let's talk about the teams that you're most impressed with. Let's also talk about the teams that have already clinched some conferences.
Yeah, so definitely it's great to see a lot of teams out there that have already started to clinch conference titles, and heading into the last week of the season. This week actually is the final weekend of play. So
wow,
that
went quick.
Yeah,
that was a quick season.
Very. So looking at the North Atlantic and the East, Albany finishes the season off at 17-1. Clinched their conference title last week, so looking good there. Yale sits at 17-1 in the New England West. Another great season. Headed to the regional playoffs. So that's a good step. SIUE. Over in the Mid-America region, they are sitting at 13-1 right now, looking good this season, returning to the regional tournament again for back-to-back years. So that's always nice. I know we had Phil on, I believe last show, but so
I think he was.
Quite a few teams there, sitting in the top 10 that are in good positions and done well this year.
So we got this week 21, last weekend of the regular season, correct?
Correct.
So we'll know come Monday all the teams in the regional tournaments, correct?
Yep.
All right, so cool. So make sure you're checking back in with us on Monday, checking in the scores. We'll have the the conference winners and all the regional tournaments set up. Any big week 21 matchups teams or fans need to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, there's a few. I'll try and break it down by region.
Okay, let's go, Z-Ram.
just to give some background. So we're looking at the Great Lakes region. Top 2 seeds in each, or top 2 ranks in each conference are in the regional tournament. They only have 2 conferences, so the top 2 seeds. So we have Central Michigan taking on Wittenberg this upcoming week. That's a big matchup to look out for. And Michigan taking on Ohio State. All four teams are still in contention for that those two spots right there.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a fun one to look out for. In the Mid-America East, we have Indiana and Purdue both sitting at 11-1. So this is for the conference title.
There you go.
Big matchup. Mid-Atlantic, looking at a very unique situation. We have Newman and Rowan Black matching up. Rowan Gold and Penn also will match up. Penn clinches the conference with 2 wins, sitting at 10-5 right now.
Okay.
Rowan Black clinches with 2 wins and 2 Penn losses.
Wow.
Right now they sit at 8-7, and at 7-8 right now, Rowan Gold still has a shot at the conference title. They get in with 3 wins, a complete sweep of Penn, and 2 losses by Rowan Black. So
You have it all figured out, huh?
we're trying to make sure we're on top of this. So
Good.
yeah.
Nice. What's up next?
Yeah, we got the New England North. We're looking at UMass Lowell and Bates. UMass Lowell sitting at 17-1, Bates at 13-2. We're still waiting on those scores from this past week to be entered to see how Bates fared in their Week 20 matchup. So that could be a good matchup to with major playoff implications there. In the North Atlantic, Ithaca sitting at 11-4. Syracuse at 11-4, and St. Bonnie at 11-4 as well. Syracuse and St. Bonnie actually match up, sitting both at 11-4. So that's a real fun one.
Yep.
We'll see how that shapes up. South Atlantic, ECU sitting at 11-1. Coastal sitting at 10-2 in the North Conference. ECU wins or clinches the conference title with two wins. Coastal would need 3 wins and 2 ECU losses. And that's pretty much, SOPAC's pretty much all set. We're out there. We're getting the scores for Arizona State to see if they clinch the SOPAC East in week 20. So that's be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So obviously some big matchups this upcoming weekend. As far as regionals go, maybe for any fans out there, their kid might be playing. What do they need to know about regionals? Who's hosting them? How do they work? Obviously, is there, how many regionals are there across the country? Kind of give a breakdown of how the regionals work in the NCBBA.
Yeah, so we have 7 regions, and each region has regional tournament with 4 teams in. Yeah, and so each game is single elimination. You'll have your 3 conference winners in most cases. For the Great Lakes, as we talked about earlier, it's 2 conference winners and then the 2 second-place finishers in each conference. But you'll have your 3 conference winners and then an at-large bid. So the at-large bid is, there are different factors that go into selecting it, but usually factors taken into consideration are, how well you competed against your conference championship. Yep. Did you finish in second place in your conference?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe any non-conference games, but
you're building a resume, and there's a committee that looks at your resume and decides if you're getting in or not.
Right.
Very similar to the March Madness pool. I mean,
right.
A lot of the at-large teams there. So,
Exactly.
All right, cool. So,
yeah.
And then how many? So, who's hosting the regional tournament?
Yeah, so the regional tournament, the highest seed in the last Phenom Elite Top 20 poll, which we'll actually have released for you on this upcoming Monday, the 25th.
Okay.
We're kind of expediting that to try and get
Normally it comes out on a Thursday.
Off.
Okay.
Right. So we'll know the highest seed, or whoever is the highest ranked in the region, will have the opportunity to host, and then so forth and so on amongst the conference winners. Should the first seed not be able to host,
and those happen not this weekend but next weekend.
Yes, correct. The weekend of the 30th and 31st of March.
Okay. Yeah. So talking regionals, obviously the winners of the regionals will be moving on to our national championship, which is out in South Bend, Indiana. Is there anything teams need to know about the national championship? I know we have a new skills competition. I just know from going to the tournament, it's absolutely awesome. The IU South Bend's a great facility. We try to make it as fun as possible. I know the skills competition's a real big hit with the guys, but it's just an all-around good time. But But is there anything that we need to get word out about the national championship, or any information you need to let the viewers know about?
Yeah, well, actually, you mentioned it. The skills competition, we actually have sent out an application now to participate. And just to be clear, it's for anyone. Your team does not have to be participating in the national championship in order to compete. Applications have been sent out, and the due date for that is April 1st.
Okay.
So that's something to definitely keep on your radar. But yeah, we're excited to be heading back to South Bend, and we're excited to see who will be attending with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess the last thing we want to talk about, unless you have some other things you need to get out, is the big news is the NCBBAW, which stands for Women's National Club Basketball Association, that we are getting off the ground here. I believe we have some teams already signed up.
Yes, I believe 5 teams
Wow.
signed on right now, but we definitely want to spread the word on that. So, if you know of a women's club team at your school,
Yes.
definitely, spread the word. We look to get that up and running and continue.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. I've been around long enough where I saw, baseball be the only sport we represent way before your time. But baseball, and then the softball girls were saw how great the baseball league was, and they wanted to get involved. And we got the softball league, and we'll be talking club softball here in a little bit. But I mean, it just blows up, absolutely blows up. And I'm expecting, with how great the basketball league has been doing, that the women's National Club Basketball Association will do just as well. And so stay tuned with that. But like as Zach said, you club basketball teams out there, if you know of if your school has a club basketball women's club basketball team, definitely put us in touch with them. We'd love to get them on board, because we'll be rolling that out. I guess is shooting for 2020. But is there a website? Do we have the website up?
We do. There is a website, Facebook
out to the
page.
public?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
so
Facebook group, I believe, actually.
Okay, so make sure, again, another reason to join our social media accounts. But that's big news. We're excited about that. And, we would love to if you have any contacts for a women's club basketball team, we'd love to talk to them. So I believe we are going to be getting into – do you have anything else to talk about basketball?
Just one quick housekeeping thing. All-American nomination forms are need to be sent in by Monday, March 25th. So this upcoming Monday, that's the deadline. So just keep that on your radar.
Okay. Good stuff, man. We were gonna be transitioning into National Club football talk here. Are we doing a commercial? So we will be taking a commercial break, and we will come back to you to talk about NCFA stuff.
The game is the official headwear sponsor of Cold Club Sports. They offer an early order discount to all of our leagues on top of their already low prices. Go to thegameheadwear.com and check out their wide selection of on-the-field hats, off-the-field boonies, beanies, and visors. Contact Felicia Battaglia at coldclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Rawlings is proud to be partnered with Call Club Sports. If your team is in need of any products that Rawlings has to offer, contact us today. Rawlings, the finest in the field.
Fundraiser is the official fundraising platform of Cold Club Sports. Teams have the opportunity to create a free online campaign to begin accepting donations in hopes of reaching their fundraising goals. Please be sure to contact Cold Club Sports for more information on this amazing platform for all of your team's fundraising needs.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us here on Suite 301. We are going to be getting into our National Club Football Association talk, and on the phone we have our Assistant Director of Football Operations, Mr. Joe Schaefer. Joe, how you doing today, buddy? Good to hear, bud. Good to hear. We're sorry that you're not in office, that beautiful mug isn't on camera, but glad we're able to get you on the phone. We want to talk football. Big thing, not a ton to talk about, but some big things to get out is the rules have been released. Is that correct?
Yes, early next week. Probably at this time next week, they'll be on the website. Teams will be able to reference them. They will also be sent out here following Suite 301. So
Okay.
all the teams will have a copy via email.
Okay. So I apologize. Did you say when the plan is to release those?
I would say by the end of next Tuesday at the latest.
Okay.
We are currently waiting for Sandy to come back and
Gotcha.
basically
Gotcha.
make sure to clarify that.
Yeah, so if you're a football team out there, be on the lookout. I'm sure our league office will be sending out emails, posting them to websites, but you will be informed when they are released. And then the only other thing I really have for you, the fall kickoff. That is announced. We have 4 teams. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Scott Hoffman, once again, is in charge of the fall kickoff this year. He's done a fantastic job in years past. I believe he's the one that started the event itself.
Yes.
But this year we have 4 teams again. We're going back to Pitt at the Pitt Sports Dome. We have 2 newcomers this year for their first time playing in the fall kickoff. That is UNC Greensboro. They'll be taking on Pitt. Pitt sports a 2-1 record in the fall kickoff.
Wow.
So they've been obviously successful there before. That's game 1. And then the second game, game 2, is between George Mason and Oakland. Oakland's first time playing in the event
Nice.
as well. It is actually George Mason's 6th time playing in the event. I believe that is the most a team has ever played. And it'll actually be the first matchup between those 2 teams in program history for both schools. So
Really?
that'll be a very intriguing weekend between those 2 games. 4 solid teams. I know that George Mason always comes to play in that event. They're always excited. So is Pitt being able to play basically a home game.
Yep.
But
So
yeah, it should be an exciting event.
what? Just to talk just a few more minutes about that. UNC Greensboro. Are they a relatively new program?
Relatively new, yeah. They, in years past, they've struggled a little bit as a
Okay.
club, as an organization. This past year, we saw a little bit of an incline, and this year they actually had a shift of team leadership, and they're off to a pretty good start. They're on top of everything. It seems
Good.
like that they bought in to
Good.
really improving and really creating a good culture at the school. So I'm expecting pretty good things from them this year. They're actually moved. They played in the South Atlantic last season, and we did a conference realignment, and now they are going to be operating out of the Mid-Atlantic East, where they played in years past. I believe
Okay.
2 years ago, could have been 3 years ago that they operated out of the Mid-Atlantic East. So they're going back again. They're going to be facing conference foes like Coppin State, George Mason, Longwood, those teams that they've played in years past. They're going to see them again. So
Well, good. And I mean, it's going to be good for them. I know Pitt's a really organized, up-and-coming program, and to have George Mason and Oakland also there, who've been around, have seen it all, have done it all. Oakland national champions. We're just recently in the national championship. So that'll be good for those teams to, and not that you should listen to me, but those teams, you should talk to one another and learn how each other operate and get some good ideas from each other, because like I said, there's some established programs there, and that's going to be a great event, and we know Scott does a great job, and I know he has plans to make that event bigger. So if you want to participate in future events, or maybe even try to get into, maybe he can open up another game slot for this event. Reach out to Scott Hoffman. I'm sure his contact information is on the NCFA site. Joe, anything else football related that we need to tell viewers?
Not that I can think of off the top of the head. I think you made a pretty good point. If you're a team that is just starting up, or you switched into a leadership role, you should be able to contact one of these 4 teams, or all 4 of them. I mean, they are, between George Mason and Oakland, like you said, they've been in the league for a while, and they know the ups and downs and what needs to be done. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a great event. I agree with you. I know Scott was looking to have 3 time slots. That's absolutely a goal that we want to have moving forward. But for the 2 matchups that we have currently, it should make for a great event. So,
And do we have the
pretty
date for
excited.
this, Joe?
October 6th.
October 6th. Okay, October 6th. So we got some time, and I'm sure arrangements could be made if you are a club football team that wants to participate. But if not, it's going to be a great event. Joe, we thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And with that being said, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back to talk NCBA baseball.
Fundraiser is the official fundraising platform of Cole Club Sports. Teams have the opportunity to create a free online campaign to begin accepting donations in hopes of reaching their fundraising goals. Please be sure to contact Cole Club Sports for more information on this amazing platform for all of your team's fundraising needs.
Rawlings is proud to be partnered with Call Club Sports. If your team is in need of any products that Rawlings has to offer, contact us today. Rawlings, the finest in the field.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor of Cole Club Sports. They offer an early order discount to all of our leagues on top of their already low prices. Go to thegameheadwear.com and check out their wide selection of on-the-field hats, off-the-field beanies, and visors. Contact Felicia Battaglia at coleclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Fundraiser is the official fundraising platform of Cole Club Sports. Teams have the opportunity to create a free online campaign to begin accepting donations in hopes of reaching their fundraising goals. Please be sure to contact Cole Club Sports for more information on this amazing platform for all of your team's fundraising needs.
And welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. We are going to get into our NCBA talk. Lots of stuff going on in the NCBA. And we're going to start off first and foremost with our spring training showcase down in Tampa. We have Tracy Reardon, the Director of Spring Training Operations, with us via Skype. How are you, Tracy?
I'm good. You can see I have a jacket on today. It's a little chilly. We've been battling some rain this morning, but as you can see, we got baseball going on behind me, so all in all, it's a good day.
Great sales pitch on getting more teams to come down to Tampa.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
No, but obviously, you're doing a great job with battling through. It's Florida. It's going to rain every once in a while, but games are going on. So get us into it. Talk about the event so far. I mean, we're right in the thick of it right now. Let us know how things have been going, any big matchups, what kind of things have been happening down there in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we're already in the third week. It's kind of crazy that all the 8 months of prep and we're already in week 3 of 4. But we had a really big matchup last week where UCF D1 took out Ohio State D1 in a 2-1 battle. It was literally to the last inning. It was a great game to watch, great game for both teams. And then USF took out reigning champs Penn State D1 in week 1. So that was a big game as well. NC State went 5-0 this past week, and
Wow.
Virginia Tech actually took OSU D1 to 7 innings where they were tied 1-1, and then OSU pulled it out in the 7th inning. But it was very impressive to watch a team like VT kind of battle against Ohio State like that.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I've saw, I think Iowa had some pretty big wins. Not even Iowa, Illinois as well had some
Yeah.
big wins. So, I mean, there's a lot of this isn't just, I mean, it is fun and games where you get to go and play baseball down in Tampa. But, I mean, there's some serious matchups happening.
Yeah, Illinois, they're here right now. They're actually playing on the other field. They have beat Iowa State. They took out Iowa earlier in the week. So they're really taking down some top 20 teams. And I'm pretty sure the new polls, if not
Yes.
this one, the ones coming out 2 weeks from now will definitely reflect that for sure.
Yes, it's going to be, and we'll get into the top 20, both D1 and D2 in a little bit. But, I mean, it's going to shape the spring training games are going to shape a lot of the top 20 pool. I mean, the voters are going to be looking at these games, and a game like or a team like Illinois who has a big week and takes down Iowa, who I think beat Wisconsin. There's a lot of top 20 teams down there. It's not just, like I said, fun and games. I mean, this is some serious baseball, and it sounds like everything's running great. You're doing a great job. What are teams doing away from the field? Have you heard any different things that teams have been doing?
Well, besides today, the weather's actually been quite nice, so teams have been heading over to Clearwater a lot. The beaches out there are fantastic, and there's just some really great places for them to hang out there. They've also been doing some nights at Topgolf. It's a great way for a team to have that large of a group be able to do something together and everyone be able to take part in it. So I think they're just kind of enjoying being down here for the week and not having 2 feet of snow on the ground when they're playing ball. So
Absolutely, and that's the biggest sales pitch of all is, most of these teams haven't been able to get outdoors, and to be able to not only get outdoors and play baseball, but also have the time of their lives being with their buddies and being down in a tropical environment, playing baseball, but also getting to enjoy a spring break. Sounds like something big just happened. But you're doing a great job. So spring training east down in Tampa is going really, really well. If you're a team interested, definitely reach out to Tracy. We have Henderson, our spring training west going on right now.
Yep.
I know that just started yesterday. I know Garrett's out there, but we just completed the Mesquite Swing into Spring tournament out in Mesquite, Nevada, which was we had Sandy and Joe out there running that event. But can you just speak a little bit about that event?
Yeah, it's the first year that we have it as an NCBA sanctioned event. And from what Sandy and Joe have said from being out there, the teams really just enjoyed having the NCBA presence on the field, just there to ask any kind of questions and be a point of contact if anything should have come up. But, I mean, we played 23 games in 2.5 days, so it was a lot of baseball in a very little time. But as far as the feedback we've got, I think everything's been pretty positive. So we're happy about that for sure. And
it sounds like Sandy's doing the spring training circuit. He was in Mesquite. Now he's down in Tampa, correct?
Yeah, he's making the rounds. He's going coast to coast.
CEO. But good. And then Henderson's underway. I know it's only a small sample size, but everything's going great out there. I believe 2 games were played yesterday, and he has 3 on tap for today.
Yep. Nevada's actually streaming some live stuff with their games on their Twitter. So if anyone's interested in catching some of the games out in Henderson, you can go to their Twitter and kind of follow along.
Nice. Well, again, Tracy, I know you're busy, and hey, did the 2:00 games get started?
Yeah, we're currently underway here, so all games today will be going.
It's because I sent you that good juju, right?
Oh, of course.
But great job, keep it up. How much longer are you down there? You down there for the duration?
Yeah, Alec leaves me on Thursday, and then I'm here for the week 4 by myself. So.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, again, hats off. You're doing a great job. I will just leave everyone with, if you're interested in spring training, please reach out to Tracy. Reach out to any team that's been down there. They'll give you a great testimonial on how awesome of an event it is. But good job, Tracy. And do you have anything else to add, or are you all set?
No, I mean, just thank you to all the fans that come down with the teams. I mean, we can put on a tournament, but for the fans to come out in droves like they do, it's crazy to me every year to see, Iowa brings down 35 people. Ohio State, they have 2 teams. They bring down 60 people easily. So
wow.
It's really nice to see the support for the teams as well as, the amount of teams that we get down here. And I put it in all the recaps. We can't do what we do down here without them. So it's a thanks to the teams, but also to their fans. So thanks,
awesome.
Guys.
All right, Trace, thanks so much. We'll let you get back, and good luck with the rest of the event.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too. Well, that was pretty cool. Tracy live from Tampa, Florida, down at our spring training showcase. Trent, I don't think you've ever been down to Tampa, but
not.
I mean, that event is so much fun. I mean, it's the combination of getting to play baseball, getting to play really good baseball teams. So getting that in, but also most of these teams are driving from Minnesota or up in the Northeast where it's a 16 to 24-hour drive. So they're getting that bond with the new guys and the other upperclassmen and things like that. But they're also getting to have a spring break too. It's
Right.
like baseball bonding spring break. I mean, it's just a perfect combination. And I know any team that's been down there before, if there's a team that's interested in going or kind of on the fence, they'll talk to one of those teams because we have such a high retention rate from our teams going once that go back again because it's such an awesome event. So hopefully
Absolutely.
you'll get the opportunity to go down and check it out. But great job with Tracy. She's busted her butt. We've went from one event down in Tampa to 3 this year, 2 being out west. So she's done a great job, and really hats off to her. So with that being said, as on our talk with Tracy, I do want to get into the polls. Before we get into the D1 poll, I want to talk D2 top 20. Not a ton. This one just came out this past Thursday, the Week 16, Rawlings Week 16 top 20 poll. Top 5, same as it's been previous weeks. Ohio State, 12 first place votes. Coming in at number 1, SUNY Buffalo, Metro State, Oklahoma State, and Temple. I'm excited. I guess Oklahoma State, seeing them in the top 5. They were a team that I feel like when I was in the role of director of team development, I was the person that brought them on to the NCBA and was expecting some big things from them, and they just had the typical, they figured stuff out the first couple years. They've only been around for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years. But now look at them. They're a top 5 team in the NCBA D2. I think they'll probably be a D1 team here shortly. But that's exciting to see. And you got a lot of big names, rounding out the top 20. I mean, you got Penn State coming in right outside the top 5 at number 6, California, PA at number 7. Another good story is the University of New Hampshire, who this is their first year in D2. Previously, they were last year in our Division 3, made it to the national championship and lost to Adrian College, who they're right in front of at number 8. Adrian College coming in at number 9. So those are 2 teams I'm excited to check out and see how they do this spring. I don't think they've played any games yet this spring, but definitely 2 teams that should be fun to watch. Then you got Bloomsburg, SUNY Binghamton, Siena College, High Point, Texas A&M Cora Cadets, who's a team that jumped into the top 20 after not being ranked. And then Air Force Academy rounding out the top 15. And 16 through 20, Georgia Southern, North Dakota State, Akron, Grand Valley State, and Central Florida. So we're just getting into the heart of the season right now. A lot of these teams, especially up in the Northeast, haven't even played some games yet this spring. So we're getting into that point where hopefully teams in the Northeast are able to get out onto fields here shortly. So things will start taking shape here in the NCBA D2. And as far as D1 goes, we talked about it a little bit with Tracy, but there's a ton of, I know Penn State went down to spring training. Ohio State. Let's see here. Iowa State's down there. I believe Drexel's going. Who else is going? Santa Barbara went out to our western one. Wisconsin, Iowa. So a lot of these teams in the top 20. I know Arizona State's participating in our spring training showcase in Henderson right now. And I know, I forget what the stat is, but Tracy has a stat. The amount of teams that go to the spring training showcase and how that's related to them making it to the regional and World Series, like Penn State won the national championship, their spring training team. So it's not just a trip to have fun. I keep saying, there's some big games being played down there. You learn a lot about your team getting down there, so it's really, really beneficial. But yeah, a lot of big games being played down at the Spring Training Showcase. This week's top D1 top 20 pool will be coming out on Thursday. I know for I shouldn't say I know for a fact, but I'm going to safely assume ECU they swept Elon over the weekend. I'm assuming they're going to end up at number 1. Number 2, I don't know if you saw check scores, Trent, but number 2, Penn State, are defending national champion. Did you see what happened to them this past week?
I did not. No.
They got swept. So, by JMU, a very, very good team. But we will see what happens. I would expect the voters to take that into consideration. Ohio State, they've got some games under their belt this spring down to the Spring Training Showcase. I know they played some big-name teams down there. So I'm really, really, really excited to see how this D1 top 20 shakes out. But yeah, just to kind of break down this past one, again, this is from almost 2 weeks ago, the Week 15 Rawlings Top 20 pool. You have East Carolina, who really solidified their spot in number 1 after having a sweep over Michigan State, who I believe at the time was number 13. They pitched a no-hitter against them. So they're really solidifying themselves as that number 1 team, and it's like 2 through 20, it's kind of up for grabs, really. So especially this upcoming pool. So rounding out the top 5, you got East Carolina, Penn State, Ohio State, Florida State, and Oregon. I know Oregon participated in our Swing into Spring showcase out in Mesquite. So they got some games under their belt. I think they did really well out there. So they might be making a big jump. But 6 through 15, you got Iowa State, University of Maryland, Drexel, Texas A&M, Florida, Grand Canyon, UC Santa Barbara, Cal Poly, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Again, a lot of teams that have played some games since almost 2 weeks ago. And then 16 through 20, you got Colorado State, Michigan State, Alabama, Arizona State, and UCLA. So be sure to, on Thursday, I'm the one getting it out. Hopefully I try and get it out as early as I can on Thursday. But usually by early afternoon that the Rawlings Week 17 pool will be coming out. So make sure to check our websites, check our social media sites for that coming out, because I expect quite a bit of movement in that pool. So that should be a lot of fun, exciting to see. What else we got going out? One big thing I want to touch base on before I forget. The NCBA roster freeze is April 15th. I don't know when our next Suite 301 episode exactly is, so I wanted to make sure that – don't know what that is, Jeff, but wanted to make sure that I get that out to everybody that the NCBA roster freeze is April 15th. After that point, your roster cannot be changed. It is frozen, hence the name freeze. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know. World Series and regionals, again, just like basketball, I mean, we are right in the thick, and it's crazy to think about, but we are right in the thick of the NCBA season, D1, D2, and D3. So teams need to start thinking regionals and World Series and budgeting for both. But we try and keep all of our postseason updates updated on our NCBA website. There is a tab called Postseason where there's a World Series and regional tab that teams can click on to get information on all the regionals, all 8 regionals across the country, and all the pertinent information that goes along with those. The World Series, we're back in Holly Springs, North Carolina. I believe you will be tagging along. I'm not sure staff-wise, but hopefully having you coming down to Holly Springs, you're going to absolutely love it if you do make the trip. Amazing stadium. The 8 teams that have the opportunity to compete in the World Series are in for a treat. I'm sure we're going to have some repeat participants, but any newbies, they're going to be their jaws are going to be on the floor because it's an amazing, amazing venue. We're so happy to be going back there in 2019. So it's we hope that it's all your hard work is paid off once you get down there, that you just truly enjoy yourself and have an amazing experience. Holly Springs, right outside Raleigh, in North Carolina. So you have the big city, but you got the small town feel in Holly Springs. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in an amazing venue. So we're, like I said, really happy to be back there in 2019. But make sure to keep following along on those postseason updates because we try and update them regularly. I think on the regional side of things, at least D1, I just did some updates not too long ago. So make sure you're following along with those. Now, Trent, now's your time.
My time to shine.
Your time to shine.
Here we
Let's talk Rawlings. Trent is our Rawlings sponsor account manager. He knows all the ins and outs in Rawlings, but give us just a rundown of what teams should know about with Rawlings.
Yeah, like you said, I handle anything Rawlings related in the office. So team new uniforms, baseballs, equipment, anything like that. I'm the guy that handles that. The big thing right now for any of the teams out there is additional baseballs, additional softballs. So you're starting to play games. A lot of the teams in the Northeast, if you start practicing outside, you ruin a lot of baseballs that way. So stock up on those if you need them. If you need anything, reach out to me in terms of baseballs or it's a little late in the year for jersey orders if you want to get any uniforms, but maybe planning ahead for next year if there's something you have in mind. Teams can always reach out to me with those designs or anything that you need really.
Yeah, I mean, and I know just talking with teams and being familiar with the Rawlings account. A lot of teams are out there, and you don't, as far as jerseys go, you're not required to wear Rawlings, but I think the least you can do as an official officer of your team is at least reach out to you, get a quote. I mean, take a look at a jersey, at least get a quote from you. You can provide a quote, give them an idea of how much it's going to cost. If you have maybe a local mom and pop shop that's cheaper, certainly go with them. But I think that the very minimum, reach out to Trent to get at least a quote from him. I'll piggyback off what you said. The baseballs, they don't go bad. Order extra, 2-3 extra dozen. A lot of the way baseball fields are configured, there's woods on each side, a foul ball. Sometimes the ball's gone. So make sure to stock up on baseballs. They don't go bad. But, reach out to Trent. Anything Rawlings related, Trent's your guy. What's your contact information? Direct lines, what?
I do not know my direct line number.
Okay.
All my information's on the website, though. If you want to get in contact with me, just go to our website. My information's there. Just to piggyback off what you said with the jerseys, Rawlings offers so many different options as far as models. Whatever your budget is, they have jerseys that'll fit that. So if you think it's something that's not affordable, like you said, just reach out, get a quote. I can tell you all the different options that they have. So I'm sure there's something for any team out there, regardless of what kind of budget they're on.
And you can, you can edit a jersey where if it's, you need to get it down a couple $100, you can say, well, get rid of piping or something like that. So, definitely reach out to Trent about performance apparel, uniforms, baseballs. He can help you out there. So I appreciate you being on site, getting that information out. Lots of great stuff happening in the NCBA, so make sure to stay tuned to the website. Again, all of our social media accounts. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back to talk club softball.
Rawlings is proud to be partnered with Call Club Sports. If your team is in need of any products that Rawlings has to offer, contact us today. Rawlings, the finest in the field.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor of Cole Club Sports. They offer an early order discount to all of our leagues on top of their already low prices. Go to thegameheadwear.com and check out their wide selection of on-the-field hats, off-the-field boonies, beanies, and visors. Contact Felicia Battaglia at coleclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Fundraiser is the official fundraising platform of Cole Club Sports. Teams have the opportunity to create a free online campaign to begin accepting donations in hopes of reaching their fundraising goals. Please be sure to contact Cole Club Sports for more information on this amazing platform for all of your team's fundraising needs.
Welcome back to Suite 301. We have Savannah Aarons on the line to talk club softball. Savannah, I don't know if you were watching earlier, but we were talking about the NCBA, how we're right in the thick of it. Lots of games being played. I think teams are finally getting to get outside to play some baseball. I'm sure that's kind of the same way with softball. So I'm sure lots of games are being played. Hopefully they're being played. So the first thing we want to get into is the Rawlings Top 20 poll. So take us through the latest version of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that just came out last week with the University of Illinois still atop with 11 first-place votes there. Some interesting moves, though, have been made. JMU taking over the number 2 spot over Navy. That was an interesting move, but that'll all be decided about probably this weekend after we talk about matchups here shortly. Some big moves that were made, Florida State jumping from 9 to 4, all attributed to them being able to actually play softball for part this spring. Another one would be NC State jumping from tied at 13 to 8, and Arkansas State jumping from tied at 16 to 11. Just those few making some moves. Obviously, those teams were teams that have been able to play so far this spring. So, rightfully so, they've earned that. But here in the next few weeks, I would imagine that this is all going to get shaken up.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of how it's been going. Because previously with NCBA, it's I'm going through my top 20 as a voter, and a lot of my teams in my top 20 haven't played yet, and it's finally getting to the point. And spring training helps a lot. But a lot of the teams are finally playing some games, so it's exciting to see how things are going to shake out. Softball teams, make sure you stay tuned. When's the next one coming out?
Second week in April.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, since this one has came out, we've already had games between Air Force and Florida played just this past weekend in the spring training showcase.
Nice.
And Air Force was ranked at 14 in this poll with Florida at 17. Well, Florida took home the championship in that spring training showcase this past weekend. So definitely expect that to be a
juicy.
That's a top 20 upset. So
all right, cool. Yeah, so make sure to check out the next top 20 coming out in mid-April. Has there any I think I know the answer to this. Maybe the Air Force Florida was the big matchup, but any other big matchups that have happened thus far this spring?
Oh man, well, I would say not necessarily like a big competitive matchup. It was, it's competitive. It's all competitive, but a huge matchup for the NCSA, just in general, was the Oregon Eastern Washington series.
Okay,
that was played
I know why.
Ago. That you know why? Why?
Isn't it that's a new conference, is it not?
Yeah, so it's the first ever conference series played in the Pacific North, which is huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had them right out that way, so we've had series rescheduled. So the fact that they actually played softball, and that's the very first series, it's setting the tone. Oregon ended up sweeping Eastern Washington, so now all eyes are on Oregon. But it's anybody's conference because we don't know anything about these teams. They're all brand new to the league, brand new conference, super exciting things going on out there.
Well, that's awesome. I know you've been working for a long time to try and get softball up there, and having that first conference series under the belt is probably a relief, and them at least knowing we're a real association and things count, and we're not just some fake association, that it is for real. And so that is a big series, and I'm excited to see how the rest of that Northern Pacific area plays out. Postseason, any postseason updates? I know from our meetings, the regionals are all set, finalized, correct?
Yes, I know you were talking about this with baseball, but definitely keep checking back on those updates on the regional playoffs page on the NCSA website. More information there coming soon. The host hotel information, but once teams start clinching, that'll all be on there. Brackets, those kind of things will all be updated on that website over the next few weeks. So everything's set. on needing some teams to clinch. This is the latest we've ever went without a team clinching so far. So
Okay.
that just attributes to how competitive the league has gotten.
Yeah. Yep.
It's literally coming down to like nobody's going to come out of this unscathed. Everybody's going to have a loss, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's what you want. I mean, I know that's not what some teams want to hear, but I remember from the days it was either Florida or Florida State winning the national championship, and now the parity is there, and it's anybody's game, and that's, as a league, that's what you want, and so that's a great job. Last thing I know, housekeeping wise, roster freeze. When is that?
Yeah, roster for April 1st.
Okay.
Coming up. I mean, get on there, get on the website, and go to the teams tab and click your specific team's roster. Make sure everyone who's supposed to be listed on there is listed on there.
Yes.
Come April 1st, it's no April Fools. It's legit, like the roster is frozen. I can't do anything about it at that point.
April 2nd, you cannot get another person on that roster, and yes,
right.
And I'll repeat it. Go to your team. Go to the teams page. Find your team. Click on roster, and make sure that everybody that is on that roster is supposed to be on that roster, and then do it again, because we get every single year for softball. I'm sure the same thing. April 2nd, they're knocking on the door saying, "Hey, can I get so and so on there?" And it's nothing we can do about it. And same thing goes for baseball. April 16th. Rosters are frozen. So make sure to check your rosters, make sure those are accurate. Anything else softball related that we need to get across to the viewers?
Not really. Just some exciting matchups coming up this weekend. Like we were talking with baseball. We're finally getting some softball played. So I am expecting us to have some teams clinched this weekend. Really excited to actually see those scores come through and be able to looking towards the postseason as who actually we're going to be seeing. So
awesome.
Excited to see those matchups happening this coming weekend.
All right, make sure to stay tuned to softball scores and standings. With that being said, that is our show for this month. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Suite 301. As always, don't forget to follow our Twitter and Facebook pages. The next episode is Tuesday, April 16th at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook Live. Join us then to catch up on everything that's happening around Cole Club Sports. Do you know the punchline?
I believe I do.
It's a game. Oh, let's do a cross.
It's a game. Have fun.